Well, hello, you beautiful bunch of people, and welcome to session 102 of The Tides of Chaos. I am, of course, your DM of Doom. No longer Son of Asgard. I've now rebranded. I'm now Oops All Brands. Or as you might know me here, the DM of Doom. And with me today, we've got my lovely and amazing cast. We've got Big Gilly Styles. We've got Charlie 182.0. We've got Ruthless Rogue. And we've got Just Dan. All of them looking fine as always as they stuff their faces with crap. Do I have any housekeeping? I do have housekeeping, as I've just said there. I have recently went through a rebranding, so all my personal channels are now under Oops All Brands. No longer Son of Asgard. I feel like I moved away from that kind of stuff and started focusing more on actual TTRPG stuff. But none of the usual things for D&D or TTRPG related stuff really fit with my name, except the Oops All Bards or Oops All Paladins trope. So Oops All Brands. There will be other stuff coming with Oops All Brands on it.
Out of curiosity, does that mean we're all brand now? Like, are we a collective?
On a technical scale, yes. Everybody is now. Okay, I'm going back to Son of Asgard tomorrow. You ruined it! Just wait till I start moving at the other social medias, and it's going to be only brands. It's going to be great. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. What else do I want to say? Yeah, I'm just going to get this out the way at the beginning of it. The world's in a pretty volatile state right now. I'm going to implore everybody, wherever you're from, wherever you're watching from, whatever you're doing, whatever you plan on doing, and whatever you intend on using your rights to do, which is what you should do. I know, right?
What right? I'm a woman.
Please be safe. Please be aware. And please at all times be looking out for one another. Because it's very, very obvious that people who are supposed to be doing that are not going to. I've heard too many stories from friends who have been hurt, who have been arrested, and in one case has been sent to a whole other country that they have no knowledge of. They have no understanding of. So please be aware, please be careful, and please be safe. Onwards to Fantasy World, where things are somehow better. I don't know how that is the case. But we're going to move right into that right now. Can anybody remember what happened in the last session?
This is amazing. Okay, so I wrote an entire session recap last week. Well, like, high
You
on my
did?
hat. This is going to be incredible. What did I write? Okay.
I wrote an entire recap. Let me find it, because I don't remember what I wrote.
Okay, so Vlaakith gutted, the Gith rotted, to Unarath ransacked, the loot pretty good. We all loaded onto the plane breaker and began our journey home. Talus read about blood magic a lot. Sylas spent some time scrying on Davy Jones and found that Odetha was being massacred. Davy Jones seems to be making up for his personal loss in power, thanks to us, by drawing more power from Kesseles. So by the next day, Odetha was rubble, and Davy Jones sat at the center of the ruined island on a makeshift throne. Scary stuff. Leonid had a deep and important conversation with Snickersnack, the Fey Greatsword. I believe the proper terminology for that exchange is a roasting battle. Talus read more. To make things kind of interesting, Leonid also read more. Sylas extended offers to those who helped kill Vlaakith to join the crew. Only Layla accepted. She said she'd find us soon. Jasek was a good captain, assuring that the group's morale stayed high and that people were doing what they needed to. Talus rid herself of her bard levels and fully embraced sorcerer for now. Um,
It's painful.
yeah. So, and then Jason came to check on Sylas. They had a whole talk about how to handle Voltagg, which will unfold this session. Enjoy. But the big thing that happened really is that Kessler made his way onto the ship as we were heading to the material plane. He congratulated us on the strides we've made. Then he asked us, "You have journeyed through the stars and seen the other worlds out there. What would the price be to have you remain there?" And in response, we kind of jumped his ass. Series of insults masked as philosophical debate were slung around for honestly 15 minutes. Sylas revealed that he is no longer aging, and that him, Talus, and Leonid will all be around, or maybe Leonid will all be around for the second coming of Blacketh. All in all, while amusing, the conversation got us no closer to resolution, but it did kind of light a fire under the crew's ass to deal with Davy Jones and stop him. So Faulkner went home to fulfill the terms of his deal, put his name in as Pirate King so that we can all amass an army against David Jones. To that end, we are working on wrapping up loose ends. Voltagg's next on that list. So the session ended with the ship landing in Poataru Rock, which would normally mean we're really badly beached, but we can also fly, so it's fine. That's what you missed.
One of them handy additions of having a Spelljammer helm now attached to your pirate ship is that there's not really a lot of things that you cannot sail on. You can sail underwater, you can sail on water, you can sail on the sky, and you can sail on the stars. There's not a lot that is, kept from you at this point.
Concrete. I want to sail through concrete.
Well, that's too damn bad.
You keep on digging.
You keep on. I was actually saying to myself, where did I pull that voice from? And that's exactly fucking it.
I'm tired of this, Grandpa.
That's too damn bad. I need to watch that again.
God, it's such a good movie.
Digging. It's such a good movie. So, we arrive at Poataru Rock. The Western Waste is as it has always been. Red, cracked, dry earth. Less sand of desert and more cracked, brittle, dusty rock under your feet. Think Arizona red rock deserts. This is what.
So I could set this place on fire if I wanted to. It would just catch really quick.
It would not take a lot if there was any vegetation that wasn't what's the word for if it wasn't succulents. If there was at any point had been trees or something here and all that was left was dried husks, you could set this place up with a firebolt. But at this point, there's nothing to burn.
That's a shame.
Even the creatures. I mean, certainly, of course, there are the people of the Western Wastes, however very small these nomadic groups may be. There are native humans, as well as, if you're brave enough to venture into those mountainous regions, there are mountain elves. There are Arakocra who roost in the higher rocky outcrops and points. Even the creatures that call this place home natively, whether they live subterranean or whether they live on the surface, they're susceptible to the extreme heat and such here. That's why they mostly reside in shade or in caves or in crevices or underground entirely. This area is probably one of the most inhospitable places on the continent of Valorna. It's not like the shifting sands where it is a desert and it's very dry and very warm, but when it goes to nighttime it reacts as all deserts do, where it gets very cold. This is heat, searing heat at all times. At this point, as you're arriving here, you will be under the rules of extreme weather for heat. Does everybody remember those, or do we need to be reminded of what the extreme weather rules for heat are?
I vaguely remember this from the Elemental Plane of Fire.
I don't, but don't we have fire resistance things that we can?
So it's not about fire. It's not about fire resistance. It's a completely different set of rules that fall into it. But I can certainly go over them for you guys. So basically, how it works. So basically, how it works is it works on a time thing. For every set period of time that you are here, that you're in these conditions, certain effects will come into play. So when it comes to, sorry, give me just a wee moment. When it comes to heat, I always forget if it's hour or 10 minutes. So just bear with me while I have a wee look at that. Here we are, weather. Scroll down to the extreme heat. Here we go. So, when the temperature is at or above 100 degrees Fahrenheit, which is what it's going to be, a creature exposed to the heat and without access to drinkable water must succeed in a Constitution saving throw at the end of each hour, or you gain 1 level of exhaustion. The DC is 5 for the first hour, and then it increases by 1 for each additional hour. If you're wearing medium or heavy armour, or you are clad in heavy clothing, you have disadvantage on the saving throw. So there has actually been a wee change to this. Creatures with resistance or immunity to fire damage automatically succeed on the saving throw, as do creatures who are naturally adapted to hot climates. So, Talus, you're fine. Jacek, Leonid, Sylas, you guys will have to make these if you don't have access to drinkable water. But funnily enough, stepping right off the plane breaker, you happen to have resources there. So you'll be able to have water skins. A water skin, I would say realistically, based on my experience from doing survival and camping, your standard water skin, standard size water skin and such, will hold enough water to sate you for about a day. So you've got about 24 hours of gratis, which I don't imagine you'll be here longer than 24 hours, but just in case, you've got about 24 hours of gratis.
Also fortunate I can cast Control or Destroy Water, so we're kind of good.
There's also that as well then.
That'll help.
We only need to make the saving throw if we don't have access to drinking water, correct?
Right.
If you don't have access to drinking water for an hour. It's not like I finished the last drop of my water, haha, immediately make that saving throw. It's not like that. You have to be without access to drinkable water for a whole hour. We all clear on those?
Yep, sure.
Smashing. Fantastic. Poataru Rock is known for the great mountainous outcrops that exist. These large red sandstone pillars which stand like the fingers of some long buried titan reaching up from the ground. However, the landscape has been reworked, whether it's by hand or whether it's been by some magical means. These pillars have had these long, almost columns of mountain stacked in between them, forming almost like a makeshift arena. As you step off the plane breaker and that dust cracks and crumbles beneath your feet, there's another noise that joins that symphony of breakage, that of applause. The sound of weapons clashing becomes very audible from where you stand. It's coming from the direction of these large linked pillars.
What kind of noise is it?
So there's a couple of different noises within there. It sounds like a fairly cacophonous amount of noise. Every now and again you hear a clash of metal. If you want to get more specific, you can make an active perception check.
I mean, sure. I remember when that was a problem for me. Oh my god, I just rolled a nat 1. That is still a problem for me.
Don't worry, guys. Don't worry, guys. I got this down. 1. Well. Anybody got anything they want to do to that? Anything that they can do to that? Anybody want to do that?
It's a nat 1, so...
Listen,
I'll give the help action.
I'm gonna lend you my ear.
Other people can just be perceptive. It's okay.
Some of us gave all of that up.
Some of us gave up being sort of good at everything.
Fucking passive perception of 19 now instead of 32.
That seems like a very poor choice.
It's actually one of my favourite things is that Talus used to be the one that's seen all, heard all, nothing gets by me. Her dad turns up. Do you want to unlock your full power? Yes. Okay, here you go. Hey Talus, what happened? What?
The way I think about it, and this is how I'm going to characterize it, is Talus just stopped giving a fuck about anything else. Like, she's just like, good fucking luck, man. I'm done paying attention. You're on your own.
Yeah. You know what? That's how I justify Sylas losing his, too. Just over it.
Talus just
what has seeing shit ever got me?
Exactly.
What has it done for me lately?
So the thing is, I still have the alert.
I could see what was about to hit me because I don't have the dexterity to dodge it.
I cannot be surprised, so I know what's going on. But I'm also just like, seems like a you problem.
Does anybody else want to make that perception check as well to try and identify any of the sounds?
Sylas knows what the sounds are.
It's fairly evident for Sylas, but Talus, Lena, do you guys want to try and make the attempt?
Nah, man.
I'm good.
You're good.
I believe in you guys.
Love you guys. Horribly perceptive, aren't we? Okay.
Then in
Let's
that
handle
case,
this with finesse, guys.
Sylas, you
Yay.
can tell what this is from a mile off. It's the sound of weapons clashing in orchestrated combat for entertainment. The cheering you can hear is the sound of the crowd baying for blood, and that raucous, cacophonous sound that's following them is the sound of applause, stamping feet, cheering. It's the sound of people literally thanking some macabre orchestrator for the death of people. Sylas, I want to kind of focus in on you for a wee second here, because as you step up to here, I want to cast back to the first moment you stood on these kind of grounds as a gladiator. You would have been taught those words that every gladiator is taught when they first step onto an arena. When your instructor, or as they would be known, your doctore, would stand in front of you and they would say, what is beneath your feet? And do you know what? Roll me a d20. Just roll me a random just roll me a d20. Let's see what we get here.
14.
14. You were one of the quicker ones to learn the answer. It was too obvious to say sand. It was too, maybe a little bit poetic to say that it was the bones of your enemies. Something along those lines. And the two that did come out with those answers, they felt the lash of the whip very, very swiftly. It wasn't until the champion at that time would step forward and he would tell you the correct answer. It's sacred ground. Ground where brothers and sisters in arms will spill blood and have blood spilled in the name of this art. And for a length of time, maybe you, or not you, maybe Duke, started to believe that this was art. We know that Duke certainly became skilled, proficient. Some could even say an expert in this kind of art form. Because there was a point where that very same champion who gave you that answer also became a reason that that answer exists. As there was a point where you and him met and one of you walked out. And as you stand here with us today, we make the conclusion that he did lose his life. Now you're being called back to stand on those grounds again. Maybe not the same grounds, maybe not the same sand, maybe not the same bones of enemies, but sacred ground nonetheless. To face what is proclaimed to be his greatest champion. A battle for the ages. Champion against champion. To see who truly is the greatest that he has ever trained. Stand before these massive constructed gates. Polished bronze showing effigies of gladiatorial battles. Spilling blood etched into metal. What do you want to do?
He takes a second, taking, all of this in, the environment, the unfortunate familiarity with it. His pulse kind of quickens for a moment.
Mm-hmm.
But he looks back at the crew, he looks back at his friends. He takes a deep breath. He's like, all right. Welcome. It's my home. Yeah, okay. So, obviously I'm not actually from here. We've been to my grove, but Goliaths hail from the Western Wastes, and so when I was a gladiator, I was known as the Scourge of the West, even though I do not actually come from the West. Important that you guys know that, because it might come up. I wish I had more of a plan.
I was about to
More
ask.
of an idea of what to do here, but I don't want to walk in there and walk straight into an arena. I'd like to see if we can skirt the perimeter of the place, see if we can find Voltagg and confront him directly. That might be too much to hope. And this may simply end in a fight. I'm at peace with that. I don't really know what to say, but I appreciate you all being here, doing this with me. Anyway, let's go kick some ass.
Oh my god.
Twinning.
Winning.
So, talk to man, try and get him to step down, or at least only have to fight him rather than everyone else as well. But if we have to fight everyone, we just do that. Yes.
I think we just
Pretty
go
much.
kick some ass.
Okay.
To be honest, if it becomes obviously apparent that this is going to be more work than just, going full destruction mode on this place, I'm going to lean into the destruction.
Sure.
I mean, that is what we do best, really. I mean, half the time we dig around trying to talk our way out to something just for us to blow it all up to begin with. So, I'm down to give it a shot, but also, I'm ready to blow things up.
Sounds great.
Also, we will definitely follow your lead on this one. This is your journey. We're not going to, like, pressure you one way or another. Yes?
If any one of you feels it necessary to step up at any point, you're welcome to do so. This is not as personal as you might think it is. I'm a very changed person. Voltagg and the other champions led us to believe that they were our family, our siblings, our parents. Obviously not really, but that was the feel that they were trying to impute on us. I have my family now. You're all welcome to speak up and do whatever you want. That's all. Just, we're here to kick ass, like you said. Shall we?
Let us kick ass.
All right. Well, come, old brothers and sisters.
Kick names. Take ass.
Should we just walk in there?
No.
Or do we need disguise / should we bamboozle? I mean, we could pose as investors or some shit. I don't know.
Leonid, we did just bring a ship right above, like, real quick. At this point, I think it's more of a just like, let's go kick some ass.
You know
I
what?
I think we've lost the element of surprise, I want to say.
That's fair. That's a fair point.
Sylas will tap his staff and cast Pass Without a Trace and say, and if that doesn't do anything, that's fine.
Okay, sounds good. I'm here.
They will call this place Sacred Ground. That is what we're stepping onto. That's what we were told before we entered the fight. We step onto sacred ground. That's what the arena is. In a very twisted way, I think I understand that now. Where so many have bled and fallen, where so much pain and grief is soaked. It is sacred, but not the kind of sacred I ever will be a part of. Not again. At least not on anyone else's terms but mine. Okay, for serious now, let's go. And Sylas is going to lead the way into Poataru Rock.
J6's gonna follow with...
Yeah, we're all following.
Yeah.
We don't leave footprints in the sand because of Pass Without a Trace.
We do the weird dune sand walk to not have the worms follow us.
It's actually really,
maybe
really
want
funny. Actually, really funny you say that because some of the largest natural predators in the Western Wastes are purple worms.
Can we take the plane breaker from sand? It could be a sand sailor, right?
It could, but why when we would just be out of the sand?
Imagine
Because
running
going
into a
through
worm
the
with the
sand
plane
is
breaker.
cool.
So you step into Poataru Rock, and as you step towards those doors, they open of their own accord, grinding metal against stone.
Yeah, no, we lost the element of surprise.
As you step in, you see two gladiators locked in combat. Loads of ducking, dipping, dashing to the side, jabbing with weapons. There seems to be, Sylas, what you would understand to be a style known as retiarius, which is fighting with a trident and a net, going up against gladium, which is a short sword with a very large shield. They dance around each other for a little bit before that net gets caught up in that short sword, and while most would think that's what it's meant to do, to get tangled, Sylas, you see the kill shot coming from a mile away. He pulls on the short sword, pulling that net in, and sticks the rim of the shield out. And even a blunt edge with a lot of force. can take something off. And it does in this instance. As your greeting into Poataru Rock is a literal fountain of blood from where a head once stood.
Like full Tarantino, like...
Yeah, everywhere. Arterial spray all over the place. The body falls to its knees and slumps over as this gladium-wielding humanoid of some sort, he has a big helmet on, turns to the crowd, raises his weapons and cheers as they cheer for him. There's a bit of movement in the opposite side of this arena from you as someone stands up from inside a box and starts to wave hands. And the audience and the fighting dies down.
Can I quickly cast Detect Magic?
Of course you can. This is a very, very large arena. What's the range on Detect Magic?
Detect Magic has a 30-foot spherical range. Yeah, it's 30 foot. I guess I'm looking to see if there's some sort of anti-magic field or something like that.
No anti-magic, but as you cast Detect Magic, right around the boundary line of the arena and like the high walls that lead into where the audience are watching from, all the way around those, dozens, and most likely more as it spreads out along the entire length of this, dozens of glyphs of warding.
Okay. That's just to protect them from magical injury, I'm assuming.
This would be something you would know is fairly common practice with gladiators. They're bought commodities. So if someone should try to escape, in the middle of a fight, this would trigger. You would know these are triggered by the word given to signal the beginning of a fight. And they are put down when the when the essence of a life being lost within their boundaries is noted.
When we get in there, don't let yourself get pushed up against any of these walls. They are enchanted to prevent escape, and whether or not you are trying to escape or just unfortunately pressed against it, they could kill you.
The wall could kill you?
Yes, the enchanted wall could kill you. It's not fun. Anyway, sorry, the guy at the opposite end of the arena stood up, the crowd is dying down, going silent.
And a very familiar voice to you, Sylas, is going to speak. Gruff. Definitely not the type of voice you would expect to be coming from someone with as much power as this person has. But an orc will spread his arms. Ladies and gentlemen of the arena, we are graced with history right here. Many of you have seen them spill blood. Many of you have seen them bathe in that crimson vitae that keeps us alive. And many of you mourned when they left. But as always, the arena calls back its truest of sons and daughters. I give to you the Flayer, the Ripper, Breaker, Scourge of the West. He gestures his hand forward towards you as Voltagg says, "Welcome home, Duke." And immediately the crowd explodes.
It's so weird hearing that name.
I know. I'm having a processing period. Hold on. Okay, we're good. Sylas kind of leans into it. He walks into the stadium and like holds his arms out above his head and, you know, turns to face all of the crowd, bathing in their applause and you know, the fanfare over him. Very much an act, but he kind of leans into it for a moment as he makes his way to stand beneath the podium where Voltagg is standing.
Do the rest of you follow Sylas into this?
J6 gonna
Imagine
kind
they
of
say
keep it.
no. Imagine they just leave.
All
Just
you-
the ship and fuck
Oh,
off.
you bro! J6 gonna kind of keep an eye on where Voltagg is, watching to see what he's doing as Sylas enters, but J6 gonna stay right next to Sylas.
Okay. Laying it
I
to
imagine-
Talus.
Yeah, I imagine Talus is following, but like think Katniss in the second Hunger Games where she's walking into the arena and she's just like, no, fuck everybody here. Just like beeline, eyes straight at the back of Sylas's head, waiting for when he's ready to act.
Okay. Voltagg is going to step over, like step up onto the ridge of this podium he's in, and he steps out onto air. But you can just notice, Sylas, from how close you are, the glimmer of a floating disc that starts to bring him down onto the sand.
Great, he's
So-
coming to us.
Still about maybe 25 feet away from you, Sylas. He spreads his arms. He's like, "I always knew you'd come back, Duke." He kind of gives a once over to your appearance and is like, "You've been enjoying some luxury, I see." You're muted, Charlie, sorry. Oh no, we can't hear him.
Oh no,
Charlie?
we can't see him now.
Technical difficulties. It wouldn't be a D&D game without them.
Right, every single time.
All the time. If it's not me trying to figure out what's going on with my sound beforehand, it's somebody's mic not working halfway through a scene. I'm sure we'll figure it out. What are you making, Ruthie?
Eventually, a sweater.
I'm trying to learn how to crochet right now.
It's fun.
I can make a line.
Oh, I'll show you what I just finished for my brother-in-law.
Not for me.
I will make you one. You just have to pick out your yarn.
It's never for me. It's always the other people.
I got a rock.
I got a rock.
I'm just gonna model it.
I like that boulder. That is a
That's
nice
a nice
boulder.
boulder.
Watch out, Freya. Okay, so this is what I just finished making for my brother-in-law. It's
Right,
little-
hold on. Stay right there. Stay right there. This is creepy as fuck.
no fucking way.
And I didn't buy this out of shop. I got this custom made. I picked the
Wife?
colours.
Brad, I can
Okay,
make you one.
But that's a little bit more sweatery.
Yeah, this is like...
This is a cardigan with like big old wizard sleeves and shit.
Yeah, this is like a little... I don't even know. They call it a cocoon wrap. That's what they call it. A cocoon wrap.
It's like,
Wrap.
see, for the fact that it's like really loose, like knit, like you can stick your fingers through it fairly easily. It's really warm,
Yeah.
like really surprising. Have we heard from a Charlie?
I don't know what happened. We don't have a Charles. Chadwick? Charlwick? What is his actual name?
Charlinigans?
His name is actually just Charlie.
Charlie. His real name's Benjamin.
Charlie.
Why would you say
Closely related to Bruce Lee.
Pick a yarn. Or more than one yarn.
Pick a yarn,
me?
any yarn.
Yes.
Not right now.
I'm just saying, it's right there. Alright,
Well,
while
we're-
he's figuring that out, I'm gonna go pee.
While we're waiting, I have some news about Astrid. We confronted Astrid with the choice that all must be met with at one point if you have nerdy parents. We put in front of Astrid a Bulbasaur, a Charmander, and a Squirtle. I'm a proud Charmander picker all the way, right?
Cool.
My wife is one of
Okay.
those. My wife is one of those people who likes life easy, so she's a Bulbasaur person, right? Astrid picked fucking Squirtle. Like, who the
Little blue
fuck?
turtle.
Who the fuck goes half in? Right? You either pick the easy way or you pick the hard way. Okay? Some of us like a challenge. But yeah, Astrid picked Squirtle. She's obsessed with it, by the way. Like, she won't go to sleep without the Squirtle.
That's amazing, though.
Absolutely obsessed. And then my 9-year-old, when I was like, yeah, we put the starter Pokemon in front of Astrid and made her pick one, she picked Squirtle. And my 9-year-old went, why didn't you put Pikachu down? And it almost broke my heart. I was like...
Or Eevee.
Or Eevee.
Start with Eevee.
Yeah, but they don't count as actual starters, okay? The only starters, the only true starters, are grass, water, and fire.
Okay.
Although, it would be really cool, really cool, to see a fucked up version of the game where the starter types are dragon, fairy, and ghost.
I
would
like
to see that.
the fighting dark psychic. That
I
was
suppose
my
that is a triangle, isn't it?
Yeah. The only problem is that Dark gets immunity from Psychic.
Oh my
So it's not a
god.
weakness.
Oh my god, he's back!
Welcome
so-
back, compadre.
I am on my laptop now. I do not know what just happened, but my microphone is just done. It tapped out.
Damn.
Said nope.
Well, we can
So,
still hear you, so that's the great
Yeah,
part.
you know, that as long as that works, that works.
So,
Sorry.
no, not at all. Don't worry about it. So, brief recap. So, Voltagg has come out.
Yeah.
He's made the insinuation that because you're not wearing that leather armor and battle axe and all that jazz, that you've been living a pretty cushy wee life.
He's not wrong.
Sorry, I had to go potty.
No, it's okay. No, so he keeps saying Duke. Sylas will say, Duke, yes, that is what they used to call me. Sylas, if you please. I've done some adventuring, found my true home, and I have a name.
Oh, you have a name now. Oh, of course. Wouldn't want to hurt your sensitive disposition that's newly been discovered now, would we?
Not as sensitive as you might think.
I see.
Well,
He's
slavery apparently begets success for you.
We all have our challenges to face. Some of us rise above them. Some of us sink beneath them.
Then I see you have sunken quite low.
His hand goes to his hip, where you know all too well is where he usually keeps the instrument of his supposed divinity, a whip. But the whip that's at his hip here is not the one that he usually carried, which is strange, because he would never let that thing out of his sight. That was the root of his power. This one that he carries is different. It's got a similar handle to the one that he had. He used to take great pleasure in saying that gladiators who failed him in the arena would become the hide for the grip of his whip. But it's less coiled strands of braided leather and hide that make up the length of this whip. It looks like wire. But this wire pulses with a strange kind of purple glint. It's like it has a heartbeat of its own. And he runs his thumb along it the way that one would run their thumb along the hand of a loved one that's held in their own. And he says, I have never been at higher heights than I am now. I see now as you stand before me.
Part.
I see now as you stand before me that Duke did not answer my summons.
But a champion did nonetheless. Just not yours.
So some other benefactor has given you a title, made you feel like you can put this all behind you.
We refer to her as Mother Nature, but yes.
You know, they warned me about taking a druid. I thought to myself, no, anybody can be a killer. You remember what
Anybody
it's like.
can be a killer.
You remember
never
what it's
stopped.
like, don't you, Duke? You remember how they cheered your name. You remember how they adored you. And you cast this aside for what? A hellspawn? A goat? And what's that? Some common half-elf?
I'm a satyr, not a half elf.
Important people are talking.
I thought that was funny.
Can I ready action
It was.
blood bolt?
You know that new shit I've learned, guys? Yeah, I found a target dummy.
I never stopped being a killer, Voltagg. I am nature's wrath. Now you're the one who's upset the balance.
And I suppose you've come to right it, have you?
Not really. No, actually. I've come to give you the chance to right it. Before I tear you down and everything you've built.
Kill him. Kill him. Kill him.
Then let's have the the showdown that was planned. No longer a contest of who will be Voltagg's greatest champion, but the champion of Voltagg versus the champion of Mother Nature. And let's see who truly is the greatest. You will step into the arena and I'll give you your pets. You kill my champion. You leave with your life. And I give you my oath, I give you my solemn vow. On these sands, you will never hear from me again.
We don't have to hear from you again if you're dead.
Your
Just saying.
hellspawn is bleating.
Alice just looks at Sylas and is just like,
Right.
You kill my,
So-
you kill my champion. You leave. You never hear from me again. I give you my word of that upon these sands. But my champion wins. I bring you back. And this Sylas fella dies. And Duke returns.
Narrow-minded as always. Here you are, thinking freedom is something you can take or give on a whim. Freedom is like air. It's a universal truth. So here's what's gonna happen, because I'm tired of you making the terms. I'm gonna give you one single chance. And Sylas is going to activate his starry form of the dragon,
Okay.
and is going to start closing the distance between him and Voltagg, walking towards him,
Okay.
and say, you are going to lay down your whip, turn, and flee. Disappear into the nothingness. Or I'm killing you and your champion.
He grins at your final words. Oh, how I hoped you would say those words. And he unfurls his whip. But he unfurls it to the side. Not something one would do if one was going to strike someone in front of them.
Talus, now.
He
yeah.
cracks it.
Bullet bolt.
Ah, he cracked it.
Yeah.
And as he does that, Talus, you can hurl Blood Bolt if you want, by all means, go ahead.
Does a 30 hit?
A 30? 30 will hit.
Sorry, it's actually too high. He's got a range.
In fact, you're actually so accurate it passes through the atoms that make him
The
up.
atoms you just.
Oh, shit. That
Dead
1 in
center.
a million chance.
Okay, so he does take 22 necrotic damage, but he does need to make a Constitution saving throw.
Does indeed.
DC 21.
I need to figure out if I have weal or woe going into this fight.
Constitution
Whoa.
saving throw. So I will say right now, before I've even looked at his modifier, it's a 17 on the die.
Yeah, damn.
Oh, pardon me. So 17 on the die, it's a total of 24.
Okay, so he will
We're going
save-
into this with woe.
Whoa.
Whoa!
Are you woeing him on his save? Or are you...
Oh, would that do any good?
you could get him down. And he would be weakened.
I mean,
Meaning disadvantage on strength checks, saving throws, melee attacks.
Constitution
deal
would
half
be better.
damage.
Although that's really good too.
Strength-based melee
Okay.
attacks take half or deal half damage.
Sure, yeah, no, I mean, yeah, let's, I'll use a reaction. I'll woe. Why not?
Okay.
4. It takes 4 off.
So it's a
So he
so it's a
fails.
20. So he fails.
DC 20, yeah.
Yep, DC
So
21. So what are the effects of a failed Constitution saving throw on Blood Bolt?
On a failed save, the creature is weakened until the end of its next turn. They have disadvantage on strength-based ability checks and saving throws, and strength-based melee attacks deal half damage. Creatures that are immune to poison or exhaustion are immune to the weakened condition. So I guess if
Okay.
he was
He is
immune
not.
to poison,
So he is weakened. And he kind of sags a little bit as this Blood Bolt hits him. But that disc still moves up. Because that's nothing to do with him.
There is sorry, I'm trying to figure out how I do these things again.
Can I cast Dispel Magic on his floating disc?
I mean, if you would like to, you can certainly try it.
I don't know if that has a... I don't know if there's really a point. Like, getting him down here doesn't necessarily help us. Okay, you know what? No. I'm gonna...
Bren, I have a question.
Go ahead.
With this whole blood boon that I have,
Yes?
I can, in response to having hit him, I'm going to take 1d6 of necrotic damage myself to deal an additional 2d6 necrotic to him from that hit.
So as you lash out with this blood bolt and it strikes into him, you feel that deep-seated infernal pact that you have woven into what is your blood, and you allow more of it to leak out than the spell requires.
Oh, that was
Making
shit.
it
That
more
was 2 extra
potent
damage.
is virulent. Doesn't matter. 2 extra is 2 extra.
And then I'll roll for what I take. But I do have this benefit for the rest of... for the next... it lasts for an hour.
Yeah, I was about to say, if it's the Grim Hollow one that you're going from, I believe it's for an hour.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's all really cool stuff that you guys do. I'm gonna go hit him.
Yeah, right?
So as I said, because it was a ranged attack, it was allowed to go ahead, but the disc does float up back to his podium, taking him out of at least out of like 100 foot of a range.
You
Looks
can
like
jump that.
Oh, I maybe. Looks like you're back at that high point of your life again.
Oop. Just as a little aside, since I'm in the starry form of the dragon, as the disc rise, Sylas is going to fly up with him, staying
How
parallel
far
to him.
up are you going?
How far up is he going?
100 foot to his podium.
I'll go up 60.
60?
As far as I can go.
Okay, as you reach that 50-foot mark, I'm going to need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Oh, I see. Oh, we're playing dirty.
Oh, we're playing dirty.
Okay. Okay. That is a dirty 20.
On a dirty 20... 2... 3... 4... 5. Okay, that's not great. Good for you.
Not great.
Not
Okay.
great in the point of view of like damage rolled. That is. So on 10d8, I rolled 21 damage. So you're going to take 21 lightning damage. As you reach the 50-foot mark, you meet a sudden force keeping you down, and from one of these towers, from one of these large red pillars, just a streak of lightning clashes into you. As evidently Voltagg has taken precaution. Sylas.
Talus is gonna yell out, only a pussy uses shields.
Yes. Cowards do like to keep their champions behind bars.
Oh, my champion doesn't reside behind bars, Sylas. From the point his whip cracked, the ground has been shaking. No, my champion resides in everything. You say that you are Mother Nature's champion. Well, can you stand against Mother Nature's greatest mistake? I found him much in the way I found you. Hiding in a forest, scraping mushrooms and moss for his breakfast. And under the command of my new power, Short holds up that whip, he became mine. At this point, spikes start to break out of the ground, massive spikes, attached to a carapace-like shell. And as that shell starts to come out, the plates give way to scaly skin.
This is a.
It's Sunny.
One huge arm. That's it. It's no. One.
Sunny! I'm pretty sure this is Tarask.
One huge clawed arm breaks its way out, grips into that dirt, and this hand alone is big enough to cover all of you in its grasp. Another one breaks free, and then they wrench forth this head, which is reptilian in its form. Much in the same way of the form that Jacek has taken quite a few times of a terror lizard. But this thing is large enough that a terror lizard would seem more like maybe a bit of an antsy lizard in size compared to it. Sylas, as one of the protectors of nature, you know there are certain things in this world which were not all entirely natural. Or if they are at least natural, they were not meant to be natural to this world. And you've heard tales of this one. Its coming heralds a coming apocalypse, a doomsday event. Rising from the ground, its awakening from a long slumber is supposed to be a telling that soon death will follow in its wake. The name of this creature is spoken in hushed terms, whispers so as not to hasten its awakening. A Tarask crawls out of the red rock in front of you all. Opens its wide maw and bellows at you with a stench of death, decay, rot, and burning flesh.
Sure.
Voltagg will speak one last time. You thought I couldn't find another Kokiri? And he gestures to his champion. I invite you all now to roll initiative.
No, thank you.
Yikes.
Ooh.
What's that? Talus backing away from a challenge?
Ooh.
A Tarask? Come the fuck on. Alright, let's fucking go, bitch.
That's really weird, because there's been a few times when I've joked about using a Tarask and you guys have been like, bring it on! It's just a big lizard! Hey!
Pretty sure those were all intended as jokes.
Well, where are they now? But remember, people, this is not the Tarask. This is just apparently somebody who can change into a Tarask. So it's not going to be that bad, is it?
Oh. The fact that somebody saw a Tarask and is able to change into it, like...
is already problematic enough, yeah.
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 And apparently they're a
For part 2
Kokiri.
of Sylas's personal quest line, let's go find the actual Tarask.
Well, we fought one fake Armageddon beast. Let's go fight the real one.
Well, we fought 2, actually. The Bloodsinger was its own.
It was less Armageddon and more complete planar catastrophe. This is just, world execution.
Oh, sure.
No big deal.
Sure. One world, as opposed to, like, all worlds. That's a good distinction, especially when Blacketh got involved.
You have to be
Then it
very
was
careful.
everything.
You have to be very careful.
For sure.
So, can I have your initiatives, please? Did anybody get over 25? Talis, I believe you said you got 25.
I got 25. Correct.
Did anybody get over 25? No? Okay. So then we have Talis at 25. Jacek, what did you get?
I got 7.
I got a rock.
Ooh.
I got a rock. I got Abraham Lincoln. Sylas, what did you get?
I got an 18.
You got an 18, okay.
Poor Jacek.
That's rough, buddy.
And we have Leonid will roll when Dan comes back to the table, as Dan is off seeing to something just now. Poor Jacek, indeed. Actually, do you know what? I'm going to roll for Leonid, just to get Leonid into the initiative order. That's a 14 on the die. And Leonid's modifier, just jumping into the character sheet just now. Leonid's modifier is a absolutely grand spanking brilliant 14 plus 7, so a total of 21. Talis, you're up. Leonid is on deck. So the Tarask is about 60 feet behind you all.
That's cool. Beep. I am going to... Sorry, I'm trying to find the thingy that I have.
No problem, take your time.
I have a whole lot of new things, so it's stressy. The Tarask counts as a creature, correct?
The Tarask does indeed count as a creature.
Okay, just making sure.
To be specific, it is a monstrosity.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay. Yeah. So I think we're going to take a bonus action.
Uh-huh.
And I am going to attempt to brand him. It is a wisdom saving throw. DC 21, right? Yeah.
DC 21. That's going to be a 24.
Able to. Hold on. So this says that I can do it before effects occur. So I'm gonna bend luck.
Okay.
Oh no, that might not work actually. I'm sorry, I'm trying to decide what I want to do here, and I have too many things.
It is okay.
And now that we're higher level, I'm like having to look for stuff.
Yeah, right? And what's going to be useful here, right?
No. Okay, what happens if they save? I don't think anything happens. Yeah, nothing happens. Okay, so I can just try that again later. Then we will. It has to spell at him, because what else am I gonna do? Or maybe I'll be helpful. I'll save that. I'm so sorry, everybody.
Take your time.
How
It's absolutely
dare
okay.
you?
This is the first time we've been in combat since I lost all my bard shit, so it's a little difficult.
Looking over the sorcerer stuff that's there is, can be a bit jarring.
Okay, so it counts as a creature. Does it count? It counts as a monster then? Yes.
It's a monstrosity, yes.
Oh, it already passed that. I'll try that later. Okay, fuck it. Fireball. What else am I gonna do? DC 21 dexterity.
21 dex saving throw. Let's see.
There's no way this fucker's dexterous. It's way too big. Bend luck. Don't tell me whatever your roll was, bend luck.
Just
Okay,
bad
cool.
luck.
3 off
So-
of whatever its roll was.
Okay, cool. So it rolled a 0.
Oh,
Actually, wait, no, hold on. That's incorrect. It rolled a. So its total was a 6. Okay.
I feel like I should get double damage for him rolling a 0 plus a -3.
Take the double damage.
Oh god, I don't like that. I don't
You
like
launch
that.
you launch this fireball at this creature and it crashes right into the front of it. And an explosion of flame and smoke engulfs this thing in its titanic size. But it just walks through it as it has an immunity to fire damage.
Oh, I hate that shit. Alright, well. That is... I did my... bonus action and my action. I should have activated my boots, but that's too bad. That's my turn. Fuck, man. Sorry, guys.
Okay. As a legendary action, this creature is going to use Onslaught. It's going to move up to half its speed and make 1 claw or tail attack. So it's going to move half its speed. That's going to be 30 foot forward. So it thumps 30 feet forward, roaring as it does so, and then it's going to turn quickly and it's going to lash out with this tail. And it's going to aim for, well, why don't we start it off with yourself, Sylas?
I'm guessing me being 50 feet in the air does not protect me from this.
So in usual cases it would. This creature is titanic
Too
in
big.
size.
Yep.
It's
Yep.
fucking huge. Well, actually, huge is its own size class. This creature is above gargantuan. I think canon document states that the Tarrasque is 70 feet tall. So it's going to lash out at you. It's going to turn and angle its tail to whip at you. I never thought I would be saying this, but I get to say it. Does a 38 hit you?
No, actually, it just misses.
Just skims right by you there, yeah?
It actually, like, it overhit, and so it's gonna clip through.
Yep.
Yeah,
So you will take 24 bludgeoning damage as you're struck by this tail.
Ooh.
But
I'll take half that because of
Okay.
Starry Food.
so you will take half of that bludgeoning damage. So you will take 12 bludgeoning damage. However, you are huge or smaller, correct?
Yes.
And so therefore, because of your size and being struck by this, you receive the prone condition. Because you're in the air, that means you fall.
This is hauntingly familiar.
Oh boy.
So you will take 18 halved to 9 bludgeoning damage as you fall and crash into the ground, making a slightly Sylas-shaped little divot in the ground. As this creature's tail has struck you and it turns, looking at you as you lie in the dirt, and you see very, very humanoid eyes in its head, but the pupil constantly contracting and expanding. Signs of obvious control. It's going to bellow again in your direction before preparing for its own attack. However, it will not be yet. As at that point, we would go to Leonid.
And I think Dan is still.
Yeah, I think
it's still
Dan
stepped
is still
away.
off. So
He'd say something really witty and
it'd
like.
be Crown of Stars is what his going to go to first move. Yeah. So I'll do that because it's the safe thing. So I'll have him cast Crown of Stars. He'll do that. 7th level. Crown of Stars. So 7 star-like motes of light appear in orbit around the centre of the spell ends. As he does that, he'll use a bonus action to send one of them streaking towards this Tarask. So rolling to hit for that. That is going to be a 28. Which will hit.
Nice. Pew pew.
That's hit by this. I believe that is 4d12. 4d12. Three and 4. 11 and 7 is 18, plus 2 is 20, plus 5 is 25 radiant damage. Which this creature does not show any aversions to as this bolt crashes into the side of its head, giving it a slight little jar before it turns to look for the source of its most recent pain. That will be the end of Leonid's turn, at which point it goes to the Tarask. This creature can make 1 bite and 3 of any other attack using its tail or claw, or it can use one of its larger capabilities. It's going to use one of its larger capabilities, as it's going to inhale a deep breath, lean down to all of your, lean down to kind of like the middle point of all of you, and then bellow as loud as it can, this vibrating roar. I need everybody to make me a Constitution saving throw.
Bran, as a reaction, can I use Thaumaturgy to copy him?
I don't think so.
Damn.
Sorry.
That's okay. Constitution saving throw? Okay.
Yes, please.
Wait, we're within...
Yeah, I was gonna say, if Sylas was knocked back prone and is now next to me, he also gets my bonus, right?
Yep.
What's your bonus again?
+5.
+5? Okay. Thank you very much. That took me from a 21 to a 26.
26. Okay, you succeed.
Oh, thank you.
It helps.
Can we go back to fighting fire things? Because they don't hurt me.
Sylas, your saving throw.
That makes it a 23.
23. Jacek.
31.
God
Okay.
damn.
Jacek and Talus will pass. Leonid gets a nat 20, so Leonid will also pass. Sylas, you fail, so therefore you will take the full damage. As this creature lets out this thunderous concussive force of its roar. Jacek, Talus, and Leonid will each take 40 damage.
What?
40 thunder
40.
damage.
That's from the save, correct?
That's with a successful save. Sylas, you're going to take 80 thunder damage.
Oops.
I think we fucked up.
Not necessarily.
Okay.
That will be its turn. As it has not bit anybody, therefore it cannot use its bonus action to swallow them. Crunch, crunch.
Baby, you got swallowed by a Leviathan. And remember
That
what you
is
did?
True. I remember what I
Drax.
tried to do. And I remember
I'm
who
just-
ruined my plans.
No, you
I'm
did
just saying,
plenty.
stomach gases are combustible. After the Tarask, it's going to go to Talus. You up?
Oh, wait, it's me again?
I
Oh wait,
Have
hold
it
on,
gone.
hold on. Sorry, no, that's the top of the initiative order. It's because it's got the word
I
Tarask
thought-
written
I'll
right
take
above it
another turn,
and below
okay.
it. Sorry about that. Sylas, you're up with Jacek on deck.
Ow.
Mhm.
First and foremost. Big owie. Ouchie. Come on, Sylas, you're smart. Okay, so I am wondering if I can roll an Arcana check to see if I can tell what kind of mind control this Tarask is under.
Okay, so you do have, as is one of my table rules, you can make during your turn in combat, you can make a kind of ability check as a free action. Anything above that would take your action to do so. So as your kind of freebie, you can certainly make that Arcana check to try and figure that out. It's going to be high level magic, which means it's going to be quite tough. But by all means, go for it.
Oh, what'd that land on? Okay, that's really not bad though. So a 16 plus 10 is 26. I don't know if that'll be enough though.
21, did you say?
26.
26 in total.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know if that'll do.
On a
it.
26, you do. It takes you kind of a little bit, but you can start to kind of. It's less like how a wizard would do Arcana, where they can kind of look at it and it's almost like they can see the strands of magic or anything like that. With druids, it's
Right.
much more of a feel. It's almost like smelling the magic. I'm not saying you do smell magic. I'm saying that's what it's
No,
more
sure,
akin to.
but like, yeah, it's an intuition type thing.
Yes.
It's
This definitely is. It's obviously some form of enchantment magic, as most mind control is. But with the role that you got, this is high level, as you can see the kind of behaviour that's brought on by a dominate person spell. Evidently, what you're dealing with is some kind of druid who, before they took this shape, has been mind controlled.
Sylas slowly rises from where he was just knocked into the ground like a crater. I'm going to use I guess that took half my movement, right?
Takes half your movement to stand up from the prone position, yes.
How close is the Tarask?
The Tarask now is within 15 feet of you. Or, well, I mean,
Sylas.
you're on the ground, yeah, so it's within 15 feet, yeah. 15 feet.
These like dragon-like wings will glow. Sylas surges forward. He's going to put his hand on the Tarask, and I'm going to cast Dispel Magic at the 9th level.
At the 9th level.
At the 9th level.
Okay. You cast Dispel Magic towards this creature. At the 9th level. And it starts to kind of shake its head, trying to clear whatever effect was on it. As your magic weaves, you start to gain this sense that it's losing this control over it. Something's coming back. A bit more of a humanoid look, at least a sentient look, is coming to its eyes. Before, as a reaction, you hear a whip crack. As your Dispel Magic drops it, the creature has to make a saving throw against the new casting of Dominate Person.
Ooh. But he's a creature right now, right? And he's not a person.
Can
Does not
Leonid
matter.
reaction counterspell?
Leonid can attempt a counter spell to that, which is
He
something
is.
that
He
Leonid,
is.
it's something that Leonid would do. It's just something that Leonid
I was
would
about to
do.
say he is pretty quippy.
He's very, very quick on the draw with counter spells like that. So I will. I don't want to just immediately take command of what kind of spell slot would be
Spell
used.
slot, yeah.
So
To be honest,
I believe counter spell is a 3rd level spell. So
it
what I'll
is
do
at
is
base.
So what I'll do is I'll roll a d6, and whatever number is rolled, I'll add that to 3. I'll add that to 3, and that'll be the spell slot that's used. Just to keep it fair and above board. Well, that was a 6, so that's going to be a 9th level spell. So, boom, the new cast of Dominate Person is broken.
Way to go, Leonid!
Right.
And what basically happens is that this creature, this person who was in this form of control, now has the stunned condition for 1 round.
Fuck the Tarask, let's go after that bitch.
Yeah. As the Tarask is like stumbling around, stunned, Sylas will turn back to everybody and say, "Right, we've got him. Break these pillars, destroy the defenses so we can get up there to him."
I'm gonna click my Boots of Haste.
We're
still technically in
we're
combat.
still in
initiative
combat.
order. We're still in initiative order.
Damn, okay.
Technically, your enemy has not been defeated. It's
Yeah.
just at this moment in time stunned.
What if we don't want to defeat him? He's just a widow to ass.
I don't necessarily want to defeat him. That being said,
Do remember that
Howard Hill.
Voltagg has claimed, he may have been lying or not, but he's claimed that this is a Kokiri.
it is definitely a humanoid.
Absolutely.
And it is definitely something that is either true polymorphed or shape changed or something.
And
Something
to
along
that
those
end,
lines, yes.
until I know what it is for sure, I'm not just gonna kill it. So, yeah. Um, that being said, we are about 20 seconds out from the 2 hour mark, and I'm a little worried that Dan hasn't made it back yet. We've already used a 9th level and a 7th level spell slot of his, so I kinda don't really want to push past what we've already done, if that's okay.
I would say let's get to the end of this round of combat. We'll jump to break, and if we haven't heard from Dan after the break, we'll have to have this as just a half session. I do not want to continue through something like this. One, using using Laneage resources. As you know, even just doing that one little thing, one or two things I did there, I do not like doing that with other people's characters. I've never liked doing that.
Right.
So I would like to get to the end of this round of combat. I don't like leaving things halfway through combats, halfway through rounds, because then you're like, oh, where exactly were we? At least in this point, I can then go, we are at the top of the round, at least. So, Sylas, if you conclude your turn, we'll move on to Jacek, and then when Jacek concludes his turn, we'll go to break and see what happens from there. Okay? But this is the point where we make it known to those who are watching that we may not come back from break, but we will go to break with the intent of coming back. But we just may not come back from break. You will know because I'll put it over to the stream is ending page if we're not coming back. So, Sylas, please finish your turn.
Yep. So, like I said, he casts his Dispel Magic. He is going to switch his starry form from dragon to archer. And he's going to take a pot shot. Well, called shots take your action, right?
Called shot is your full action, and it's always a disadvantage.
Okay, never mind. This is a bonus action, so I can't do that. But I am going to go ahead and lob a little bolt of magic at Voltagg here. See if there are any additional defenses between us and him. So that is a 14, a plus 14 to whatever I roll, which is an 11. So a 25 to hit him.
25, the starry mote hurls towards him, directly on target. He does not flinch as it gets to in front of the, like, where the glyphs of warding that are around the perimeter, it gets to there before it strikes into something and fizzles out.
Sylas will say, to Voltagg, my aim's gotten a lot better, hasn't it?
Couldn't get much worse, to be honest.
But he'll leave that there.
Okay, then in that case we move on to Jacek.
Alright, so Jacek was told that we have to take care of these pillars. Is there any way that Jacek would be thinking, will he be able to, like, break one of these pillars?
Well, as far as what has been shown, and as far as what you know from experience, I'm not going to make you roll for things that you've experienced multiple times. Glyphs of warding trigger in specific conditions. You know that the what's the word I'm looking for? You know that the border of this arena is gilded with glyphs of warding. Glyphs of warding tend to only be one-time use.
Oh. Okay.
So, if you can find a way to get rid of one of these glyphs of warding, you would be able to cross and be able to do damage to these. Or, if the glyphs only... As Sylas is aware, these glyphs usually, like, if a gladiator tried to step across them, they would be repelled or damaged in some way. There's always the chance that it might just be specific on people crossing it. Or maybe there's a bit more of it. Maybe you can jump over them. Maybe there's some kind of specificities towards that. You could explore options of how to get rid of one of these glyphs of warding. But there is definitely a load of... Voltagg is very evidently not somebody who's dumb. He has thought many contingency plans here.
And how far is Voltagg away?
100 feet up.
Ooh.
I say we send the ship flying into him.
We just order them to bombard him.
Yeah,
That's so fun.
fucking
There
nuke
are-
his
I like
place.
that.
There are audience members here to remind you
Okay.
as well.
I mean, they're sitting here watching fights for entertainment, so like,
That's all well and good, but even in the capital cities of many of the nations here, orchestrated combat, maybe not to the death so much, but orchestrated combat for entertainment is a thing. In Shoremont, knights have jousting. In the Varden Vale, there is regular sparring matches and such. Now, as I said, they don't always end in bloodshed, but knights
the
have
place.
been known... Knights have... Oh, Tal's like, yeah, okay, I'm done with the history lesson. Nuke!
I'm sorry, I'm from America? That's just our response to things.
I didn't ask how big the room was. I cast orbital bombardment. I'm sorry. Did somebody say exterminatus? Yeah, that's the Planebreaker is certainly an option.
That's so funny.
It's the scene of Thanos where he's like, just like, light them up. But sir, our troops. He's like, light them up.
That is honestly my favorite bit of the entire Endgame thing. Is just Thanos bodying everybody, getting to Scarlet Witch and being like, I don't know who the fuck you are, and her just like snapping him. And he's like, ah shit, nuke, nuke, nuke.
Yeah. Her, you will, 2 words, shivers down my spine. I don't even know who you are. You will. Ugh.
Such a good line. So,
So devastating.
Jacek, it is up to you again. Calling in the Planebreaker. I'll give you that as a bonus action.
Ooh.
It's not that difficult for you to reach for a sending stone and go, you know, full broadside. It's not that difficult, so I would give you that as a bonus action.
Yeah, because I think having the Planebreaker basically not on top of us, but barraging like the ring, but not like they're skilled, alright? They're a great shot.
Your crew are no slouches. They've bonded with a ship the way that you guys did with the Tempest, so they know the Planebreaker. They're very
They are
good.
gonna thread the needle, and they are going to fire upon the edge of the arena without going into the stands, erring on the side of caution on our side. And they're
Okay.
gonna blow up the edge of the ring.
I
So
came here to commit war crimes.
I mean,
What's
otherwise
the-
we just war
Sorry.
crimes Voltagg, but that's
Sorry,
not
man.
my place.
with the Planebreaker being such a
into it.
large ship and with it being docked, there will be a number of rounds that it will take.
Docked?
To,
Sure.
well, like, you know, it's landed.
I distinctly remember us pulling up, being broadside above the arena, and us just like dropping in. Is that not what we did?
I'm pretty sure that's what we agreed to.
That's docking.
I wanted fucking Battlestar Galactica. Just.
I mean, we can do it as that if you want. Okay, so you guys just leapt
Yeah.
off the Planebreaker onto the ground and it skimmed across the sand and kept moving. Cool. So in that case, it's just moving into position. I'll half the time. Okay?
Perfect.
So it'll be 30 seconds for it to move into place to get the firing in.
Cool.
Okay, awesome. So, Jacek, that's your bonus action. Moving on to your action.
Oh, that's right. That's my bonus action.
Yeah.
Action. Gonna look over to Sylas. Gonna help Sylas up. Or did you already get up?
I already got up.
You already got up.
You already
I'm
got up,
gonna.
Yeah. Sorry.
I'm gonna. No, it's all good. I'm gonna cast Death Ward on you.
Oh, thanks.
That takes my action, but J6's gonna like cast Death Ward and just like in it to the end, but hopefully not the end.
Hopefully so. Now that we've got this thing under control.
Ship's coming in, and we'll likely take care of the ring in the arena. How do you want to proceed with him?
If you can cover me, I think I'll call in more reinforcements.
Perfect. I'm gonna stay with Sylas and see what more reinforcements means.
And that's the end of your turn.
Yes.
At that point, as we go to the top of the second round of combat, we are going to go to our break. Again, with the same stipulation that was said, that as we go to break, we go to the break with the intent of coming back, but with the possibility of not coming back. So just to be prepared, okay? But we will maybe see you guys in 50 minutes. Don't go anywhere, folks. We will potentially be right back, but we will give you warning if we're not going to.